What is peace? Peace is a topic that revolves all around us. You may have heard the phrase, "the world is better with peace," or you might have learned about this important idea and concept in school. But what exactly is peace, and how much do we really know? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chin Chin. I'm 14 years old, and I'm from Myanmar. I go to school in UWCThailand. I'm currently in grade 9, and my religion is Buddhism. Today, I would like to talk to you about my religion and how it relates to peace. Let me start off by saying I'm not trying to promote Buddhism. I'm only sharing its values to talk about peace. To me, peace is the absence of violence and war. It means happiness and harmony among human beings, or a calm state of mind. Peace has many definitions. Ultimately, it is a concept where everything and everyone is in harmony and free from violence and conflict. This idea of peace is essential to the teachings of Buddhism. What is Buddhism? Buddhism is a religion that originated 2,500 years ago in India with Siddhartha Gautama, Buddha. It revolves around the never-ending cycle of death, rebirth, and suffering. Buddha said that being alive is suffering. Haven't you ever had cramps or headaches? Maybe you have an illness, or maybe you've caught a cold. These are all signs that life is suffering. Buddha was born into the royal family of Nepal in a place called Lumbini, somewhere in Nepal. At a young age, the wise men of the kingdom prophesied that he would either become a great universal ruler or Buddha. Ever since that day, his father shielded him from all the sufferings of the world. But one day, when he was 29, as he was walking to the park, he saw an old man. The next day, he saw a sick man, then a dead man, and on the very last day, he saw a monk. This suffering shocked him. He knew that everyone would have to go through this someday. Everyone would have to become old, become sick, and eventually die. How many of you in here think that you would be alive 100 years from now? No one. At once, Buddha knew that he needed to escape this cycle, and this is when the prophecy was sealed. He was going to become Buddha. The next night, he set out to become a monk. He tried many different ways to achieve enlightenment, but they all failed. Finally, when he turned 35, he attained enlightenment, and he found that meditation and breathing practice was the correct way. Buddha said everyone should follow these 5 precepts. Number 1, refrain from killing. Number 2, refrain from stealing. Number 3, refrain from sexual misconduct. Number 4, refrain from lying. And number 5, refrain from using alcohol and drugs. These are not just any random rules. These rules can be applied in real life. For example, killing and stealing can put you behind bars. Cheating in a marriage is illegal in some countries and can be punishable by a fine or even time in jail. Now, you may be thinking, the last 2 may seem unnecessary, but they're extremely important. Lying can be both major and minor. You can tell a little white lie to make your friend feel better, or you can lie about a murder you committed. Lying, like gambling, is an addiction. The more you lie, the more confidence you build up to lie about bigger things, and that could put you in a lot of trouble. Lying can also permanently damage trust between your friends and family, and it could take a long time just to gain it back. Now the last one, refrain from using alcohol and drugs. In my opinion, this is the most dangerous rule to break. This is because when you're under the influence of alcohol and drugs, you're more susceptible to breaking all of the rules that Buddhism encourages you to uphold. You tend to make bad decisions and choices when you're under the influence of alcohol. Ever heard of drunk driving? Not only could this potentially kill you, but it could also kill other people around you. Around 10,000 people die every year from drunk driving. alcohol and drug abuse could lead to lying behaviors, uncontrollable acts of violence, crimes of stealing, and unintentional sexual misconduct. In Buddhism, the Buddhist monks follow these rules out of compassion and empathy, not because it is mandatory, but because it is morally correct. Buddha said, "If someone were to do this thing to me, I wouldn't like it. But if I were to do it to them, they wouldn't like it either. The thing that is disliked by me is also disliked by another. Since I dislike this thing, how can I inflict it on another?" He is trying to say, why would he do something he doesn't even like himself? He is putting himself in another's shoes and asking himself how he would feel about it. Just following these 5 precepts can help to promote peace. Let's talk about the first precept: refrain from killing. If everyone vowed to never kill, how would deaths in wars be possible? So many deaths would be prevented just by following this one precept. Number 2, refrain from stealing. If everyone vowed to never steal, from shoplifting to burglaries to bank robberies, everyone would live in harmony without the fear of being mugged. Number 3, refrain from sexual misconduct. Think of it this way. How would you feel if your husband or wife cheated on you, maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend? What if your mom or dad cheated in your family? A family can be broken simply by just one unloyal act. Lying can also cause major problems. Let's say everyone stopped lying and everyone expressed themselves on how they truly feel. It would hurt to know what others truly think about you and what they actually feel about you. But without knowing what you do wrong, you cannot improve. Also, wouldn't interrogations go easier, whether it's between a student and a teacher or a police inspector and a convict? Now the last one, refrain from using alcohol and drugs. This is the hardest route to abstain from, as you see people do it all the time, especially alcohol. You see people drinking in bars, restaurants, dinners, celebrations, everywhere. Well, while I was researching, I found that people who stopped drinking felt happier over time. Take drugs, for instance. What is the number 1 cause of school shootings? Drugs. A research study showed that school shooters took psychotropic medication such as marijuana, heroin, and cocaine before they went to the school. Along with these 5 precepts, Buddhism also talks a lot about inner peace. In Buddhism, meditation is the best way to achieve inner peace. There are many disturbances and sufferings in your body. When you meditate, you acknowledge these pain and suffering, and you achieve inner peace. There is a quote in the Dhammapada that goes, "In first establishing himself in what is proper, and only then helping others, the sage will not be stained." It means, without finding peace for yourself, you cannot spread it. For example, let's say there are 2 children. One of them was taught peace and achieved inner peace from a young age, while the other one was raised from a darker background where the parents were more abusive and they didn't have access to this kind of education. If they both became world leaders, who do you think would impact the world greater? Don't you think the child that achieved inner peace from a young age impact the world greater? They could spread world peace easier because of their familiarity with this concept. You may or may not be familiar with the Native American concept between the internal conflict between these 2 wolves. There's a good wolf and a bad wolf. When we feel fear, anger, jealousy, envy, greed, and arrogance, we feed the bad wolf. When we feel peace, love, compassion, faith, and humility, we feed the good wolf. In the end of the day, there is only one wolf that wins, and that is the wolf we feed more. When we feel fear, anger, or jealousy, we feed the bad wolf. When we feel peace, love, and compassion, we feed the good wolf. This inner peace not only helps with world peace, but it helps you and the people around you. Peace is not something we can achieve for other people. It is something we have to be able to achieve for ourselves before we are able to help others. Just small little acts of helping other people bring you happiness and joy, helping you to achieve peace. You don't have to be religious or be Buddhism to follow these 5 precepts. You can do this without being like having any religion. You can practice these 5 precepts and sharpen your skills of mindfulness, which will help the world take a step forward and getting closer to world peace. I would like to conclude with one last quote. The Dalai Lama said, "When we feel love and kindness towards others, it not only makes others feel loved and cared for, but it helps us also to achieve inner happiness and peace." Thank you all very much.